By the way, right, Elon Musk is trying heavily to get us to Mars. Which is, of course, a noble goal, you could say. But at the same time, I'm thinking, like, we can't even get our shit together on this planet. Why do we think it would be better on another planet? Like, I feel like humans should, like, raise their consciousness first. Before we go to another planet, but maybe that's just me, I don't know. Ah! That was a bad jump. Oh shit. I mean, I like it, right? I would like to go in space and to other planets, it'd be cool. But I feel like we have a lot more on Earth to do first. Aim down sights when airborne and glide. Yeah, I know, but I still sometimes miss my shots. I can't stop that from happening. I think carrying the lift of humanity a little off Earth's shoulders could benefit us and the planets. That's an interesting point. Well, I mean, admittedly, it's not like half of humanity will then go to Mars and live there, right? It's only a few people. I wouldn't trust Elon Musk with that task. Why not? Just going to turn into space war instead of land war. A different way of kill each other as always. Yeah, that's what I mean, right? I think as long as we still kill each other over bullshit, right? Which I still think is driven by the shadow government. So as long as we haven't dismantled the deep state, if you want, going to another planet is not really that helpful, I feel like. Man can't even mention a website. Yeah, admittedly, one thing that is kind of weird, right? How long does he have eggs yet? Well, yeah, like a year or two even? Oh, it's longer than that, right? I think. And it still has the same, at least in parts, the same woke code that was in there with Twitter. Like, you still get shadow banned if you talk shit on Israel for some reason. That's kind of weird. I just figured it out in the code. I mean, he did make the code open source, so you can't take that from him. Because no other company has done that. So, I mean, that's good. But it just exposed how shitty the code still is, which is kind of funny. But I don't think... I actually like Elon Musk, to be honest, because honestly, you might think of his political views, whatever you want, and that's fine. But honestly, man, all his companies are doing super well, including X. Although I think that X kind of lost the initial idea it had. It's like at this point, because he's so hellbent on monetizing the platform instead of keeping it as an actual truth platform, because right now it's really just rage bait. It's either bots or rage bait that you have on the platform. It doesn't really have much to do anymore with what he intended initially. So I agree with that. He should have fixed that. But like Tesla, SpaceX, it's all doing very well, so. He's a bit autistic, I think. But companies are doing well. I know what he shares on Twitter. I am on X quite a lot. I like the guy. Sorry. Unless you mean something specific. So many resources to terraform and sustain different planet. And that's a good point, right? Terraforming the entire planet to make it usable, that's like at least 200 years in the future, I feel like. Yeah, but how did he get the money, you know? It's like when people shit on Trump because he is basically just a billionaire. I'm like, yes, but that means he knows something about how to make money. It's not a bad skill. And I actually like this because, in this case, because then he can't be bought that easily, right? Because he just has the money. Like, he doesn't care what people offer him monetarily. He just does what he wants. That, of course, can be a problem as well, but I mean, at least he isn't... Well, I mean, let's be honest, right? Politics is just a circus. In most cases, it doesn't really matter who wins anyway, right? Because it's just designed to keep the masses having fun, quote unquote, and the illusion of giving power to people through votes. That's what I've fought for the last 30 years, 37 years I've been on this planet. Although I think that Trump actually is a little bit different. I'm not entirely sure if I trust him, but I do feel that his ambitions are different from the regular president we usually had. Yeah, but Fabi, if it's so easy, then why aren't you a billionaire? You know? I always have issues with that, because if it were so easy, why are not more people doing it? No magnetic field to protect an atmosphere. Soil is largely toxic. There's really no good reason to try to live on Mars. Yeah, I think you would have to terraform the entire planet. And I think you can create magnetic fields, right? If you get it. There's ways to do that, from what I've been told. I mean, it was a planet in the past, right? We figured it out, like a livable planet. We know that. There has been life on Mars before. It was like similar-ish to Earth. Maybe you can bring it back. I don't know. But as I said, I think we should fix our own issues first on Earth before we go there. But I don't know. Augustus. My insurance at the moment. Oh, yeah, great. Maybe you will be a billionaire in a few years. Oh, damn, that's a sick shot. Then I gladly stand corrected, my friend. But if you are a billionaire, I would enjoy if you would sub to my channel.
We are here to excavate long